All right. Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. For my YouTubers, we are going to do a few minutes talking about climate change related things, and then we're going to go to Rockfin to talk about what's in the headline because it's probably not going to work out on YouTube too well. So if you want to, just giving you a heads up, if you want to watch the entire show, you're going to have to switch over to Rockfin or Callin, the Callin app, Callin. And also, this address on the screen is the best way to support the channel at the moment. I appreciate it. Let's get into it. Or let's try. Where am I at? There's a wildfire in Northern California that I just saw this morning happening. We haven't really gotten to, there hasn't been super insane things going on in California yet this summer, but elsewhere, we're being spared, the brunt of climate change this particular summer so far, but it's only still July. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So there's a fire, the California's Oak Fire, which started Friday as a 60-acre blaze in the remote mountains, and by Saturday night reached 12,000 acres, destroyed 10 structures, damaged 5 others, threatened nearly 2,700 other buildings in the area. Where is this fire exactly? It's Northern California. It says it can be seen from Reno, Nevada. The smoke can be seen from Reno, Nevada. So, I guess it's near Yosemite. Okay. Anyways, that's happening. Also, noticed on my weather app that Portland is going to be, it said it was going to be 102 degrees on Tuesday in Portland. And I tried to find even a news story about that. And I guess now it's just not that big of news, right? 102 degrees in Portland is super duper duper insane. Not supposed to happen. Off the charts crazy. But now we live in a world where 100 degrees in Portland and Seattle happens every single summer. And that's not supposed to happen. Not supposed to happen. But it happens all the time now. And now it happens so often that, it did reach like not in the mid 90s or something in Portland already this year. Not even a news story, not even a blip. So, and I didn't see anything about it. It's going to be 102 degrees or something like that in the next couple days for several days in Portland. Several days in Portland, it's supposed to be above 90. That is absolutely off the charts, bonkers. And so, if anybody thinks that they're hyping all the temperatures or the weather for some reason, I don't know. Where's the hype around this? This is, I'll tell you a story. The first time I went to Seattle, the very first time I visited Seattle, I drove across the mountains. I drove from Idaho, across Washington, came down the mountains there into Seattle. It was beautiful. I mean, the absolute most beautiful. Well, I realized why they call Seattle the Emerald City. When I was driving down, I was like, this is insane, amazing, off the charts. I came down, it was a summer day, and it was like 80 degrees or 82 degrees. And when I got in, I was talking to a few people, and they were like, yeah, it's really great. This happens like once a year. 80 degrees or 82 degrees. They were like, yeah, you came on the best day of the year because we get this like once a year. So that was summer. That used to be summer in Seattle. That was like maybe, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago. So what used to be, oh my God, whoa, what a crazy day. It's 82 degrees, right? That was summertime. That was, something that was very rare, extremely rare, happened on like 1 or 2 days. And now every single year, it reaches 90 or 100 degrees in Seattle and Portland every single year. That's not supposed to happen. That's not regular weather. That's called the weather is getting warmer. That's not, the climate is always changing. That's not like, feels like summer to me. Or I see people saying online, kind of snarkily, well, it's hot outside because I guess it's summertime. Yeah, but you're not really, you're kind of taking that out of context in the sense that some places are having weather that is outside of the bounds of normalcy, right? And that's called global warming. That's called heating. It's getting hot outside because it's hot outside. I even see people say, well, you can't trust the weather information because it comes from NASA or something. It's like, well, okay, sure. But when it's actually hot outside, if NASA's saying it's getting warmer and it's actually warmer, it's actually warmer. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that. That means that what they're providing is true and correct. And then you can make up all kinds of other stories about it if you want, but none that have really a lot of relevance or data or evidence that something else is going on. If you have it, please, please, please let me have it. I want to know. Zach Labe posting temperature anomalies through the years, through the last century. Global temperature anomalies by month through June 2022. Every month so far this year has been over 0.83 C above the 1951 to 1980 climate baseline. And that's the absolute most, unless you want to call a year 2000 baseline, 1951 and 1980 is the most generous baseline you could possibly go on. So here it is. So yes, here also notes solar minimums and maximums, right? The little m, big M. And those are changing, right? Going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But a lot of people want to say, we're going into a solar maximum or out of a solar maximum or something. Well, they are oscillating as they do, but the temperature continues to get warmer. So it looks like the minimums and maximums don't really have an effect on whether it really gets warmer or colder. Not now, because we've overridden that particular phenomenon. And by this graph, we are getting warmer. By this chart, we are getting warmer. That's it. That's what's happening. Because then, when England is also experiencing 100 degrees, that's also way outside the norm, right? England used to be a place where, oh, it's 80 degrees outside. Wow. This happens like once in a while. Maybe once a summer. Maybe. 80 degrees. 100 degrees way off the charts. Not just once, several times in succession, year after year, right? For the last 3, 4, 5 years. It's like way, way hot in England. That means it's getting hotter. So it's not, well, it seems like a regular summer day to me. It's not a regular summer day. Not for some people. Not for some places. Again, you're being disingenuous when you say stuff like that. Anyways, or you're being thick. Let me put it that way. You're being kind of thick because you're deliberately not understanding something in order to make a point. And lastly, in the climate change arena, will Nabone posted this about monarch butterflies. Monarch butterflies will soon be extinct. Root causes: pesticides, habitats replaced with pavement and cement, destruction of milkweed plants, declined by an estimated 99.9%. We'll call that really close to 100. From as many as 10 million to 1,914 butterflies between 1980s and 2021. What does that mean? This is happening everywhere. This is in Switzerland, or from Switzerland. But monarch butterflies are prevalent in North America, and there's well documented migrations of monarch butterflies in Mexico, California, all over the western North America, and in other places, but they're not around anymore, or there are very, very few of them. The migratory monarch butterfly, known for its spectacular annual journey of up to 4,000 kilometers across the Americas, has entered the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species as endangered. Trademark TM, that's funny. Threatened by habitat destruction and climate change. All surviving sturgeon species, also migratory, found across the northern hemisphere, are now at risk of extinction due to dams and poaching. All surviving sturgeon species, right? So this is a different fish, right? Are now at risk of extinction due to dams and poaching, pushing the world's most critically endangered group of animals yet closer to the brink. The tiger has been reassessed, revealing new population figures. Well, that's good for the tigers. Somewhere you see, signs of good things happening. That doesn't necessarily mean like, well, it's all over. It's not really happening because of one particular item, story, whatever. Actually, in the Arctic, what I was going to show the other day, I didn't actually show this to you, but apparently in the Arctic, the ice volume is actually up this year. So we are getting a reprieve. Remember when I was talking about what if we get a reprieve? So again, Arctic ice declining consistently year after year, year after year, decade after decade. The trend line is down, 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 down. So 1 year does not discount the entire hypothesis that the planet is getting warmer. Oh, it's up this year. That means it's all over. That's not what it means. That's not a scientific deduction, by the way. It means we're getting a reprieve for whatever reasons, and we can be happy about that for the moment, because it means maybe not this year. That's great. Maybe not this year. Maybe we won't see a BOE this year. A lot of people were predicting BOE this year. I said, don't do that. Don't predict. Not a good thing to do. This year we have more ice volume. That's great. We're getting a reprieve. Which actually I have said several times, because to the people that are like, that's it, it's all over. The fat lady sung, we're dead. Again, I say unto thee, the climate, it does work in mysterious ways. We don't know we know that it's getting warmer, but what if, there's some feedback, a negative feedback, which means positive. What if there's some negative feedback that kicks in that we couldn't foresee, out of nowhere, whatever, right? There's all these forces, huge, giant forces, energetic forces pushing things around on the planet, right? Because of climate change. and we get a reprieve. We get a plateau of like, well, things calm down for a couple of years, 5, 10 years or something, which might have given us a window to actually, wrestle that tiger, called climate change, instead of sitting around going, that's it, it's over, it's all done, we're done next year, you know. We might very well be done by next year. Who knows? I mean, the way it's looking, right? Crops failing, weather patterns shifting, majorly, so it's very difficult for people to grow food, or getting more difficult for people to grow food. There's all kinds of environmental, there's pollution and poisons and pesticides and there's all these factors involved in the fact that things are getting worse very quickly. But it's funny because if we get a reprieve, if we had a plateau, everybody would be yelling, "That's it! Climate change is over. It's done. It's not even a thing." Well, what if the universe was giving us a moment, a breath, a space in which to do the right thing, and we squandered that space by going, some people going, "That's it. It's over. We're dead," and other people going, "See, climate change isn't real." Right? And that's most likely what will happen. Unless, or you could have people who understand, who are like, oh, hey, we know it's getting worse. We've destroyed the planet. We've really done a lot of damage. And here we are. We've got this little moment of, maybe we can shift things in a way that will minimize the damage. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. But it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Gene said we humans would use it to open up for more drilling and squander any change. Exactly. Right. Andrew Lubber says last year in Denver it was bone dry. We had air worse than Beijing. This year we're getting a little bit of a break, some rain, but overall more years are bad. This just happens to be a decent year for my local area. Yeah. Yeah. You could be thankful for a break of any kind. Gene says I don't even know that the sun has a trend. Yeah, the sun goes through solar maximum and minimum cycles, where it's putting out less energy or more energy, and it's fairly regular. But that's one of the things that people like to point to when they're like, climate change is totally fake. We're going into a minimum or a something. The ice age is going to... The temperatures actually kind of discredit that theory, because the temperatures continue to go up. Solar minimum or maximum be damned. They're just continually going up. So that doesn't actually seem to have much of an effect in reality. All right, so YouTube, thank you so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes today. I'm going to jump off because I want to talk about another story, and it's more difficult for me to talk about on YouTube. You can watch the rest of the show on Rockfin or listen on Callin. I will see you all tomorrow at the regular time of 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight. Or not Daylight, Pacific Standard, excuse me. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.